All Things Black with Garland and Calvin present Fanboys. Fanboys is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Now, here are your hosts, Garland and Calvin.
Presents Fanboys.
We back, people. Boop, boop, blacka, blacka.
They broke us out the plastic. I'm Calvin. That guy right there is my guy Garland, and we are back. How you doing, sir?
I'm feeling great, y'all. We kind of forgot how to do this because it's been so long. Life has been life, and I forgot how to set up the computer. My stand broke. Michael McDonald rerun dancing in the front aisle. What a fool believe. Yeah, man. But I feeling good, man. It's been a long couple of weeks, y'all. A lot of stuff has been going on, and so, hey, just thank y'all for y'all prayers and y'all support and stuff like that. I've had it. There's other things and stuff. So yeah, just keep us lifted up.
Yeah, definitely keeping the Garland Williams family lifted. You know what I mean. So want to make sure we do that, constantly do that. Also, a lot of things been going on because Garland, outside of the definite sad part of his life, but Garland didn't want to record because he had picked the Warriors to advance in the playoffs.
Oh my God, it has been a minute.
My Lakers got up on him, you know what I mean? Ran into my Lakers. My Lakers got up on him. And
they ran into a buzzsaw.
They did. And remember, I was at game 2. I actually went to
that's why they lost. Calvin was feeling overconfident out there in Denver. That's why they lost.
I was overconfident. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know. I guess these types of white boys are everywhere, but I had an old Paul Wall type white boy come up to me at the game, and the game started. Now I'm by myself, so I'm sitting by myself, all around just a bunch of Nuggets fans, and he came up to me. I see you, baby. It's all love there, though, dog. I see you, baby. I see you over here solo by yourself, dog. It's all love. You ain't got to worry about nothing up in here. I got you. I was like, thanks, Paul. I was like,
thanks, M.
I didn't know they was out there. Like I thought he sounded like he was straight from Houston. Like, you know what I mean? We was in Denver, so
well, they smoked that weed out there and stuff. And so you out there all by you. Yeah, they smoked
the
that
girl
weed out
next
there.
to me, the girl and her husband that was sitting on one side of me, they smelled like weed. They was older white people. They smelled like weed. I was like, it's they got 5280. That's how many feet they are above sea level. So you see, if you ever see on the court, that's what it was. I didn't know what it was, but wow, that's what everything is.
That's why they're a mile high.
Yeah, that's why they mile high.
That's why they mile high, because they on that weed. Did you get out of breath just like the Lakers did? Were you out of breath like
So first of all,
like LeBron in street clothes? Were you out of breath like that?
First of all, I'm fat, so absolutely I was out of breath. I mean, I don't even know why you asking that. Me just standing up in the arena had me like, I was looking for Darwin. I was like, Darwin, Ham, Coach.
One of the pictures you did have on an oxygen mask. I was like, why Calvin got on his CPAP mask out here at the game?
Then, after the game, you ain't getting no Ubers. I ain't really know what public transportation was. Then it started pouring outside, so I was just walking to the hotel looking like a sad puppy. Then I found this little Asian shop called Bao. It was a restaurant and bar, and they stayed open late. So I went in there and ate. And then I got an Uber from there because I was like, if I walk any more, I'm going to pass out. Be slumped over on these Denver streets somewhere.
Now you know what was wrong with Hachitachi, why he couldn't get up and down the court.
Bruh. It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. They actually got the smoke before we did. So when I was there, the white people were pissed. They were mad because you couldn't see the mountains, and you can see the mountains from anywhere in Denver. And I was
so
like,
they
well,
were
why
getting
can't you see the mountains?
yeah.
They said the Canadian fires are blocking the mountain, and they would point to where they would be. And it wasn't nothing. You couldn't really tell it was smoke. It was just nothing, but it looked like gray sky. They said, but that's all smoke. And they were pissed. And then we got it a couple weeks later. We got it here. So,
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like, yo, what? Why does it smell like a cigar lounge outside with bad ventilation? I know you don't do cigars, but I was like, am I at Dan's Cigar Lounge on Route 40? Because it's like the ventilators broke out outside.
I'm scared to do cigars because people be putting weed in them and make blunts. And I know weed ain't illegal no more, but you know how I feel about
we too old for Black and Miles. We smoking Cohibas. We ain't trying to. Cohiba costs too much to be breaking up and making it a blunt. So.
I would try a cigar for the first time, but I'm 51 and I hate to be the one on the news. Man dies first attempt at cigar.
Right.
I'd be like the Lembas of cigars and stuff. let me stop.
Right.
Anyway, what we got going on today?
We got something, man. We're gonna recap the NBA and the finals and everything. Talk a little LeBron, and we're gonna talk some draft that's coming up. We're gonna talk a little bit about your boy Zion and Bradley Beal. They've been in the news, possible trade scenarios for them. Your boy John Morant. It's like the person when your parents say they're gonna beat you. And if you be waiting all day for that beating, and then it becomes nighttime and you still waiting, and ain't beat you yet, he's still waiting for the belt from Adam Silver. So we.
I thought he got him. No, I think he got that belt.
Did he get the belt? Oh, okay. Well, Google it while we're sitting here and see if he got that belt and all. And so, and then we're gonna talk a little golf. We missed some stuff over the last couple of weeks, but we are going to talk about PGA and Liv and what happened with that. Give you our thoughts. We're going to talk a little NFL. Got touch on the O's, and then we're going to close out with some "Come On Yo." And so let's go on back to the NBA and let's talk about the finals. Congratulations to the first-time NBA champion Denver Nuggets as they completed a gentleman's sweep of the Miami Heat on Monday, 94-89 win in Game 5. To take the series 4-1. Nikola Jokic, who was awarded the 2023 Bill Russell Finals MVP Award, averaged 30 points, 14 boards, 7 dimes, and 1 steal per game for the finals. First, before we go into any analysis, we got to acknowledge Calvin. He correctly picked the Nuggets to win the title at the beginning of the season. So kudos to Calvin. Come on, just go ahead. I know y'all clapping out there in podcast land. And so, give it up for
FanDuel code CFAT. Get $10 off your next FanDuel. No, I'm lying. FanDuel, but if you want to sponsor me, you.
Right. I mean, I'm Garland the Greek doing football, but Calvin correctly called this. I was for the Golden State Warriors, and they got mashed and what have you. But the Nuggets, they appeared to be the cream of the crop. We did say someone was coming out the West. We didn't think the East was strong enough, and that proved right. You had a play-in 8th seed actually get all the way to the finals, which was happened because the Knicks were the first to do it, and they lost to the Spurs when they made it. And so, just in your estimation, Calvin, you got out there, you saw a game of the Nuggets versus the Lakers. What went right for the Nuggets in this series? What worked for them? Why did they win the championship?
Jamal Murray, the chemistry between Murray and Jokic. I mean, they just so the game I was at was game 2. So the Lakers had double-digit lead going into the second half, and even in the fourth quarter, the Lakers was taking the lead. But all of a sudden, Jamal Murray just went off. And if you notice, when they were playing the Heat in the finals, Jamal Murray, when he didn't have a good game, they didn't fare so well. But Jamal Murray was just on fire. He could have easily won MVP also. Him and Jokic, their chemistry is great. And then the supporting cast around there, Caldwell Pope, the 2 Brown boys. I mean, they played very, very well. The only thing I don't like about the Nuggets is their coach. I do not like Malone.
You don't like Malone?
I don't like Malone only because just like when they won the first 2 games against the Lakers, well, actually the first game, he's getting on the interview and saying, all you all are talking about is how the Lakers lose and you're not giving us any credit. Are you kidding? Like, you're the number 1 seed. Everyone picked you to win. No one, the Lakers are just a good story right now. And the Lakers actually played you well first game. But stop taking the focus away from your team. Like he eventually chilled out since then, but that put a sour taste in my mouth. Like, stop looking over your shoulder, sir. You have the best team, arguably the best player on the floor, definitely throughout the playoffs. So, but no, man, the Nuggets were tough. And even when the Lakers made it, I told you my heart says Lakers, but if I gotta go with the Nuggets. They just too strong all over the place. Too strong.
Fun fact about Mike Malone: he coached in Baltimore City at Friends School on Charles Street.
I remember you were talking.
Yeah,
You were saying that.
talking about that. Yeah, so Mike Malone has a little local tie. I agree with you. I think it was really Jokic and Murray. I mean, the class of players, they just had better players than the Heat. Whenever they needed a bucket, they could go to Jokic or they could go to Murray, and they got them a bucket, or they created buckets for the other players. And so I just think their players were just better situations. And I think something that we're not giving them enough credit for is their defense. They held, outside of the game 2 loss, they held the Heat to under 100 points in all those wins. Definitely keeping them under 90 in the last game, which was the greatest game because both of them were bricking from 3-point for most of the game. They didn't really start hitting 3-pointers until maybe 3 or 2 or 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But for the defense was excellent. Jokic really showed that he's a top 25, top 10, top 15 player, wherever you want to put him as a center.
Give him top 5.
Give him top, yeah. When wanted to back you down, he backed you down. When he needed to hit a 3, he hit a 3. When he needed to get the ball to someone else, he got him that ball, and he got the ball to them in the position to score. And so, just the two best players, and they could lean on those players, and those players created opportunities for everyone else. When we think about the Heat, I think what went wrong for the Heat is that they really, outside of Jimmy and Bam might have played a half for you. They really just didn't have the players. They didn't have the horses. I know somebody got kind of giddy about what's my man? He played with Cleveland. Oh my God, why don't forget him? Oh my God, and they put him in for game 2 and they won forward.
Kevin Love.
Yeah, Kevin Love. I'm sorry, people. Kevin Love. And so people got giddy because Kevin Love hit a 3 or 2, but for the most part, that pixie dust that was on Strus and that was on those other players, J. Cole's boy who got a shot on the team or what have you, that pixie dust, they ran out of pixie dust by the time they got to the finals. They just were not able to keep with the quality of players that the Nuggets have. And so outside of Jimmy, and Jimmy really, it wasn't like he was dominating like he was in those other series. I think they just plain ran out of gas towards the end. And, what are your thoughts about them and what went wrong for the Heat?
Yeah, well, Kevin Love ain't want no smoke. You could see from the time he came in the game, he was just passing the ball, really. Like, he was taking shots if they were wide open. But Kevin ain't want no smoke. Not having Tyler Hero was a big deal because they definitely needed his 3-point shooting. Strauss he went extremely cold. Martin, I think who you were talking about, Martin, it's so funny how they were getting on Martin and Strauss like, oh, they're not doing well. These guys aren't stars. They're role players that just played very well against the Celtics. They needed Jimmy, and what Jimmy did against Denver is what I thought he would do against the Nuggets, which was just, what I thought he would do against the Knicks, which is kind of just lose the gas because it's all on him. And he finally lost the gas against the Nuggets. But shout out to Miami. Like, they won a game. They won a game in Denver, who nobody had won in Denver throughout the playoffs. So they won a game in Denver. They made the games interesting and competitive, except for, I think it was game 4. It wasn't pretty.
Game 4 towards it. Once Denver got up, and I think they won that by double digits.
Yeah, but other than that, no one expected Miami to do that well. Again, like we say, and I think people are starting to give them a little more credit because the national commentators were saying it, but Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches ever in the game. He is a Hall of Fame coach, and he willed them boys, like him and Jimmy willed them boys. There, that's a team with a lot less talent. Bam faded at the end, but he can't get with Jokic. It's nothing Bam could do with Jokic. He's like, what is Bam, like 6'8", something like that?
Yeah,
Like it's
maybe
nothing
6'9".
Yeah, it's nothing he could do with him.
I agree with you. And shout out to Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, we talked about him at the beginning of the season that he's one of the better coaches in the league, one of the best top five. And I think we may have to put Malone up there as well if they keep on winning. If they return, I will say that because we pretty much. I mean, I was listening to something today. They were talking about the player management that got them to that point of winning the championship and how they basically really, they didn't have a lot of controversy around player health management. They set the players at good times. They were not putting a lot of minutes on them towards the end of the season. And I think it really benefited them down the as they went down the playoffs. And I think we have to give credit to Malone because he did pick out some good matches. Yeah, I know he has Jokic and he has Murray on there, and sometimes it's just I think sometimes all right. We talk about Spoelstra, but come on now, two of Spoelstra's championships were with LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh. Okay, he didn't have to do, and he had Jesus Shuttlesworth on that team. He didn't have to do too much. Okay, just throw the ball out there and let them do it. So he's a good coach, but let's not make him into the second coming of Red Auerbach and
I
all
think
that stuff. Okay,
I didn't start giving him credit, and I think a lot of people didn't start giving him credit until he did not have Wade and LeBron.
He's
and
won
Bosh.
with them, but he's won without them, but he has not won a championship without them. So
he hasn't won a championship, but he did make two finals. And the bubbles final is the hardest. The bubbles final is
he's made one final. He's made one final without LeBron.
Yeah, you gonna stop? You gonna stop discounting my bubbles final
that he made was not a final. That was like
bubbles final.
That was like an and-one tournament.
It's just the most difficult finals to make. And he did it all with Udonis Haslem.
Dog. That's when Tyler Hero became Bubble Boy. So trust me, that nobody has respect for the bubble. And so, what are the chances of the Nuggets repeating next season? What are your thoughts right off the bat, Calvin? Agree?
Oh wow, it's going to be difficult. You're looking at. Well, Memphis is probably out of it, but you're looking at, of course, the Lakers are going to try to amp up. The Suns are going to try to amp up. You never know what's going to happen down in Houston. They're definitely looking to add some more there. It's going to be difficult. I think they got a great chance to do it. Jokic and Murray they're just that good. I think they have a great chance to do it. I just don't see anyone in the East beating them. But you never know, again, what kind of moves the Celtics make. The Celtics are really just one player away, one better player away to get into the championship. So you just never know. But I would probably, depending on the offseason moves, I would probably go with the Nuggets again.
Okay. I'm with you. I think it's a safe bet that they at least get to the conference finals. I mean, you have the Warriors are old. The Lakers are old. Sacramento, yes, they're young and coming up. I'm not sure if they're ready for prime time yet. But
yeah, I don't think Sacramento has that player. They have the player, but I don't think
young players. They have a good young core. But they don't have like a Jimmy Butler.
Like
they don't
have
like
a
dog.
Murray
or a Jokic. They don't have a dog. And so we'll see. And I don't know how the Suns are going to look with the full season of a healthy KD and Booker.
Exactly.
Don't know what it's a new coach. You don't know if you're bringing CP3 back, and so that's a lot of things that's up in the air as well. So in the West, there's a lot of change on the horizon, definitely, and so we'll see. And it looks like I think I read the other day that the Nuggets, their starting five are all under contract, and so you at least know that that core will be back, and you see what they add, pieces that they add to the bench, and they could be up there again. And so, again, congratulations to the Denver Nuggets for winning the NBA championship. And so, let's go ahead and talk about your boy. It's not over till it's over, but your boy LeBron, the annual Will LeBron Retire watch officially started after the Lakers were swept by the Nuggets, and LeBron had his best game of the series in Game 4, where he had 40 points, 10 boards, and 9 dimes. But he averaged 39 minutes per game over the course of the playoffs. In addition, he battled foot and other various injuries all season. And as if he was returning for his 21st season after that Game 4 loss, LeBron stated, "I've got a lot to think about." And so, after stating at various points last season that his goal is to play with his son LeBron Jr. or Bronny, who announced that he's taking his talents to USC in the fall, does LeBron retire or return for the 21st season?
It's going to be tough. So if he's counting on Bronny, the game has changed a lot. First of all, does Bronny want to play with his dad? Like we
Sure.
got to think about that.
But LeBron runs the league. LeBron and
yeah,
Rich Paul,
but so when the NIL wasn't intact, Bronny can make his own money in college and possibly make just as much, if not more money.
You know, he was making a killing with the Fast and Furious thing.
And
I think he made $1 million plus on that.
And it's not like and maybe it'll change, but he's not a top 5 recruit. So it's not like he's going to go there expected to dominate. Private lottery pick. I mean, he should be well, maybe not a lottery pick. He should be a first rounder. So you just never know. Like and with that being said, he'll stay in college a little longer. That means LeBron has to go next season, the season after that, the season after that. I don't know if LeBron can take it, man. I don't know if the only way LeBron can take it is if the Lakers get another scorer, not just they're talking Chris Paul.
How much does this man need?
He can't play that many minutes. The Lakers don't have scoring. They don't have.
I'm sorry.
And my Lakers need another scorer. They need an outside shooter that can open up the lane and can give LeBron a break. LeBron should not have had to score 40 points.
They got White Mike. What's your boy White Mike? He had a good play.
Yeah, but he's not a superstar. He's barely a star. He's good, but they need another one. They need another one. They need I'm pushing for Kyrie myself. I mean, I'm pushing like I'm calling Jeannie up every day, like Jeannie, let's
Jeannie. You calling Rob Pelinka? I know you got Rob Pelinka on speed dial. You gotta fool me.
But, I did, but then when Magic dissed him, I dissed him too. My Lord, she stayed with Magic.
Said, I'm not gonna be here. I think LeBron will be back. I mean, he played well this past season. If his body holds up and he's not, averaging 30 plus minutes a game, I think he could maybe reserve his body another year or two. To me, the thing is, I'm not that high on Bronny. I mean, Bronny's like a 3-star, 3.5 star. I mean, Bronny's going to have to and blow it out in order to me to be a first round pick. And so if he does that, and I'm not hating, so please don't come after me. I'm hating on the black.
No, I mean, and anybody that watches the game knows that watches the game knows that Bronny he's not his father. Let's just put it like
Bronny is not his dad. And so he's not Scoot Henderson. He's not Victor Wembanyama. And so no. And so I really to me it hinges on what happens next year in college for Bronny, because if Bronny does not have a breakout year and is projected to be a top 5 pick, I think Dad might be like, all right, it might be time for me to retire before this dream, because I don't know, because it's going to be at least 2 seasons. That's what I'm saying.
And there's no doubt that LeBron will play next year, because he's not going to end his career on a sweep.
He would. Okay, I agree with that.
Definitely not going to do that.
I agree with that. Talking about the draft, the NBA draft is next Thursday. I believe that this is one of the most talent-thin drafts in the history. The San Antonio Spurs are expected to take Victor Wembanyama with the number 1 pick. Now, Calvin, with at least four of the top five players ranked in this year's NBA draft not playing at the collegiate level, you have Wembanyama, who played in Europe. Um, I believe Scoot Henderson played in the G League, and the other two top five rated picks played for overtime elite. Only one top five player played in college last season. That was Miller for Alabama. Can we just basically say that college basketball is done as a relevant sport?
Um, we could have prior to the NIL. So the NIL changes so much because of how much money these kids can make, and they're going to get the playing time. They can stay in college, make the easy money, and then come into the league. So I think that changes a lot. But prior to that, I would have said absolutely yes. And this isn't the first year that we've seen it. It's been a while.
Right.
But I would have
Right.
said absolutely yes. But I don't know now. The kids now, and not only the NIL deals, but these kids now have the opportunity to go from school to school. They can enter the portal if it's something they don't like. Like a lot of freedom now. They have some free. One of the reasons they were leaving college is because of the money. Excuse me. They wanted to get the
Sure.
money in the NBA. They didn't have the freedom. If you were at a school and they were bad, you were pretty much stuck there. Whether the coach left or not, you were pretty much stuck there. But with the freedom and the money that they have now that's involved in it, you know, I don't know. College may make a resurgence. College basketball may make a resurgence unless you're a top 5 pick. But remember, they still have that opportunity, as long as they don't hire an agent, to say they're going into the draft and to kind of gauge where they might fall. And if it's not where they want, they can go back to school.
Yeah, I think NIL has definitely changed the game. Personally, I think you're going to see more of the impact on the football side, because really college football is basically like a minor league for professional football, and those guys are at least 2 years in school before they're eligible to be drafted. And so, I think the money definitely has a major impact there. But I think for your top players, for me, why go and push myself through classes and all the sham stuff for a year? Go to the G League and just go ahead and make some money off the top, put myself in position against other professional players to be ready for the. To me, I don't know if the motivation is there. Although NIL is there, I don't know if it's enticing enough to say, okay, I'm just going to go for the NIL and do it that way, because a lot of these guys, they're going to the G League, they're going to the elite teams to play, or they're going to Europe, and they're getting right up there. It's boosting their level of play, and it's boosting their stock. I'm not sure about the level of play at the collegiate level is worth it, going to put yourself in that for a year.
Yeah, now, but see, and that's where you're talking about the dedication to be better at your craft. I'm strictly looking at the money, because what is G League paying these kids? 50-60,000 a year. G League is
Yeah,
not giving them.
60,000.
Yeah, they're not giving them money when you can get an NIL deal for 100,000. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not going to the G League. Now overseas, I can definitely see that. But why go overseas? And because a lot of times they go overseas and they kind of get lost in the shuffle there.
Sure.
When you can stay in college, you can still get the recognition, make some money. And I don't know. I think it's actually gonna help college basketball as a whole. It's going to hurt individual colleges because, again, that transfer portal is definitely building super teams here and there. So, at least on the women's side, anyway, I haven't seen the men build.
I haven't seen it on the men's side yet.
But I think it's going to help overall, keeping more quality players instead of them jumping to the league.
Excuse me. I want to see, because I mean, if we're going to have more Final Fours with Florida Atlantic playing Connecticut,
everybody likes an underdog.
I mean, people like an underdog, but I'm talking about the Blue Bloods. That's where you get your stuff. Going to Florida Atlantic for the NIL. I don't care how much Fritos they giving you in a car they're going to give you at the dealership. if you're a top rated player, if you're coming out of high school in the top 10 or top 20, yeah, you're going to UCLA, UNC, you're going to one of the big dogs, Kentucky, and all those things. And so, we'll see because these smaller schools, I think, because the talent is depleting. We'll see what happens, but it's interesting. So draft next week, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into next week. Now, the Pelicans. Let's talk about your boy Zion. I don't want to get everybody's had the whole Zion thing, and
let me check my Mariah Mills watch. Seen the last time she
right. Zion must got that magic stick because she got broke up about Zion. I mean, Zion must.
She even said
got the
she
magic stick.
Here we go. This was 19 hours ago. If you don't want to see my tweets, then unfollow me.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. But
she been going in for like a week now, nonstop.
That's what I'm saying. Made me go to X videos to see her work. I need because I'm not familiar with her. She, I'm old school. I only know Vanessa Del Rio, and
bro, that's not old, even old school. Projector watching Vanessa Del Rio.
That's when they had hair on the bush, and so.
By the way, Vanessa Del Rio is not related to Debbie Allen or Felicia Rashad.
She's not. Oh man, I held on to that fantasy for so long.
They're not sisters.
Her and Seika. That's all I know.
Vanessa Del Rio. Are you even at Heather Hunter or Janet Jack Me or any of them?
Nah, son. I got stuck with Vanessa, literally. And so it's being reported that the New Orleans Pelicans would be interested for a top 3 pick. Outside, we know that the Spurs are going to take Wembanyama, but the Hornets and Trailblazers have the other 2 picks. And in addition, the Wizards and Bradley Beal are exploring possible trade partners. Beal has a no-trade clause, which gives him the ability to control not only possible trade, but also the potential package to acquire Beal impacts his ability to play for a contender elsewhere. And so let's talk Zion first. Now, do you think the Pelicans should trade Zion, and should Mariah Mills be included?
The Pelicans would have to find someone willing to take on this walking ambulance like that doesn't stay in shape. They just have to find someone. But if you can find someone, then they should absolutely trade him. Like he's Orleans, like you should absolutely trade him.
I know they mad about Michael Jordan not being the owner of the Hornets anymore because Michael would make a dumb trade like this, and Michael would make this dumb trade. And I mean, he's a Jordan brand client. He played at Duke. Oh my God, that would be.
And sometimes a change of scenery is great.
Might help him out.
Players, yeah, that changes scenery.
He can get pulled pork instead of po' boys. He could get some Carolina pulled pork instead of eating all the shrimp po' boys and etouffee down there on Bourbon Street.
They should. They should absolutely trade. I was about to say they should absolutely trade the beignet Benja because they should. I mean, they should. The loyalty to teams nowadays is just it's overrated. It's over. You know what I mean? You might, but you get what you can for him, especially now because although he's been hurt, people still see potential. He's still young. He can still turn it around and get it together. No need to wait. And something happens and he can't now, and that's the worst part of it. But hopefully for him, he even wants to get traded. He wants to go somewhere else, get a fresh start with a whole new team, and it could be a situation like the Ravens had. It could be the athletic trainers, it could be your dietitians, it could be anything. It may be something on the team.
The athletic trainer is Subway. That's his habit. It's
so wrong. You're so wrong.
It's Johnny Po' Boys.
$5 footlong. Footlongs ain't even $5 anymore.
Nah, no. It's Johnny Po' Boys down in the French Quarter. That's his trainer. It's
He
the
eating them. He eating that
he
crawfish. And, well, according
yeah
to Mariah Mills, he eating Mariah Mills. Yo, she was just killing him, yo. She was just like,
yeah.
you can't even do it because you can't stand up. And then they need to get him
Say
away
you
because
fat.
she all like, I'm supposed to be helping you recover. Bitch, you ain't done nothing.
That's who doing. She worse than Al Saunders, the dude that was here, Steve Saunders. She's worse than the guy that was with the Ravens. They need to fire her. She couldn't get him back on the court, Calvin.
She one of them. She got so much surgery. She shaped like a molar. She shaped like a tooth, an upside down tooth. Let me, you know what? Let me stop.
Hey, no plastic surgery shaming. But anyway, yeah, I think, hey, if you can get something, if the Hornets or the Trailblazers are willing to give up Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller for him, I think you go ahead and you do it. I mean, the Pelicans, they've done well getting to the playoffs without him. He's been a non-factor, and they got a good core that they probably need to add a piece that's going to be stable, that's not going to be as injured, and that is available, and that's not Zion. You know, to me, it continues the horrible streak of Duke players. I mean, outside of Kyrie and Grant Hill, name a Duke player that's blown up. Like that was big in college and
I'm not even going to say Grant Hill because Grant Hill had a sub Grant Hill career. He didn't have a sub.
Yeah, I mean, he started off,
but
great.
his expectations because of his injuries. Yeah,
right.
just
so maybe Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie has won some rings and he's been a major part of the ring. But Kyrie's crazy. We know that. Although Kyrie, we want you in LA. We want you to come back. Get that old thing back. You and LeBron again.
Don't
do that old thing.
He's trying to get him to Dallas. Now, what do you think about Bradley Beal? To me, I think we were talking about Beal at some point last year. I mean, to me, the Wizards, they should have been gotten rid of him for some assets and started rebuilding. And the fact that he has a no trade clause for a guy that's basically,
I think he's the only one.
I think he's the only player in the league with a why. Of all the players in the league, why would you give Bradley Beal and no trade clause?
That's where we differ. You do not think Bradley Beal is any good.
Bradley Beal,
I actually think
he's a good player. He's just good, but he's done nothing for them. He's not elevated them past last place. He has not elevated them.
I think Bradley Beal is a really, really good player.
They were better. I hate to say this because I'm not a John Wall fan. They were better with John Wall in the backcourt with him than they were with Dougie John Wall, whatever he was doing. Superman, whoa. I mean, whatever John Wall was doing back then, they were better with John Wall. I mean, with Bradley Beal, I think they made one playoff. I mean, he'll get you points, he'll get you buckets, but that's it. He don't play no defense. And they gave him a no trade clause.
Bradley Beal is not made to be the number one on a team. Bradley Beal.
He sound like Marlo. I wasn't made to play the son. I wasn't made to be the son.
He should be a 1A or 2 on any team. He needs to go to a team. He flourished when he had John Wall actually with him playing. Once John Wall stopped playing and got hurt, he just but he's still a very good player. I definitely think that they should trade him to New Orleans. He would love it down there. Fun Zion is having, right? And, coming from DC to New Orleans, that's like a lateral move when it comes to the ladies. That's a lateral move right there. He get down to New Orleans, they'd be like, "Hey, baby, what you doing there, Bradley, baby?"
Right. Yeah, he'll be in his element. He'd definitely be in his element, but I don't know. But yeah, hopefully they go ahead because they need to rebuild. They need to go ahead and
Absolutely.
just start rebuilding that team. They probably should have did it 2 seasons ago. I really don't think they should have gave him that big contract, that extension. He was not worth that money.
He earned that contract. That's right. We talked about
bro.
That.
He did not go to any play.
He earned that contract.
Yo, he ain't earned that contract. It, just like he was playing in the bubble. But anyway, and so we'll see what happens with Bradley Beal and the Wizards.
The Wizards were so bad they didn't even make the bubble. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why the bubble was only for the elite. Only for the elite.
Right. Oh my goodness. I don't even think they can win down Barry Farms, the Wizards. If they went down Barry Farms or to the Brunson League here in Baltimore, they probably be in last place here. That's how terrible they are. Anyway. Ja Morant.
So raw.
Now I just look. He has not been.
I thought I saw something.
He has not been beaten yet. Right. But Memphis Grizzly guard Ja Morant, although he's not being charged with a crime for twice displaying a gun on social media, it will not prevent the NBA from handing down more discipline. This is what Adam Silver said last week, and Silver is preparing to announce whatever penalty is coming Morant's way for the second gun incident shortly after the end of the NBA Finals. That's when he's going to lay down the ruling. He suspended Morant for 8 games in March after the Grizzly star held a gun in a suburban Denver nightclub while streaming himself live on Instagram, NBA Dumb Boy, and another live stream in May, this time while sharing the front seat of a car with one of his friends. And they saw Morant displaying a weapon again. And so let's go ahead and play the guessing game. How many games will Morant be suspended?
So if you want to just pile on to what you've already done, it's going to be 30 to half season, 30 to 40 games. Ooh. If you want to make an example out of them, you suspend them for the season.
The NBA where you landing at?
I'm gonna go with the 30 to 40 games.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go 25. I'm gonna go 25 games. I think it's going to be more than 20. I agree with you. It's going to be lengthy. Half the season might be excessive. I mean, he hasn't been charged with any crime, but this is a guy that was on
it's blatant.
About I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I was dumb. And then he came back out and showed he was still dumb and did it again. And so I do think he gets spanked for that.
You just came off a suspension and you're right. Literally doing the same thing again. It's reckless. It's blatant. It's disrespectful to the league. We talk about it sometimes. It happened to Allen Iverson. It's happened to a whole bunch of them. You get that Negro wake up call, and Adam Silver's about to make that. He's about to make that Negro wake up call.
That's what happens to him.
I don't see him making out well in this one. I just don't see him making out well in this one.
Yeah, he about to get caught up. And so we'll see what happens with Ja, but we should be expecting a ruling any day now. Now let's transition to talk about some golf. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about take that. And that's what Jay Monahan was saying to the Saudi government. Hey, we'll take that money. Take that. That's what the Saudi government was saying. Take that. And Jay Monahan, the commissioner for the PGA, was like, I'll take it. And so the PGA Tour, unless you've been hiding under a rock, the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and Liv Golf League, which have been embroiled in a bitter legal battle for more than a year, have agreed to unify and move forward in a larger commercial business. That was announced earlier this month. The landmark deal between the tours and Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, was reached without knowledge of many PGA Tour members and Liv Golf players and agents. Now, PIF, with more than 600 billion, I said billion, B's, in assets, will be the lead investor in the yet-to-be-named new entity. And it will also become a premier corporate sponsor the DP World Tour and other international tours. And so, basically the commissioner for the PGA, Jay Monahan, had these golfers out here dying on the sword, protecting the PGA. This is anti-American. All they're trying to do is sports wash their image as a country that is brutal to its citizens. They assassinate journalists who do reporting that does not favor the government. They're whitewashing their image. And then the following year, he says, I'll take the money. He basically told Tiger to turn down all them bans. It was reported they offered Tiger $1 billion, and I'm sure they offered Rory McIlroy and some of the better players who stayed with the PGA a lot more money than they probably gave Phil and the others to come over as well. But now it's all like, hey, we're going to get together, and so it's kind of like Jay-Z and Nas deciding we're going to go ahead and make an album and sell records and liquor together, or 50 Cent and Ja Rule. That's basically what this was. And so, what are your thoughts about this whole Saudi Arabia, the investment fund, and the PGA merging, and the impact of this?
Let me do my best barbershop invitation right here. Man, fuck the PGA. You know how I feel about the PGA. Right. And they literally showed their own people that they ain't shit. First of all, you made all these guys talk bad about you, stick with us, you know, we're in the right and this and that. They will eat their fucking own. Oh my gosh, it is so. And, you know, they get on the interviews like, well, yeah, it's not really a merger. And, you know, they didn't have anything to do with 9/11, because if they did, I would kill them myself and all that bullshit. You ran after the money. You made these guys stay with you and run after the money. You talk bad about Phil Mickelson. You lit these guys up for leaving and taking the money for you to turn around and take the motherfucking money. The PGA, I told you then, the PGA wasn't shit. Now, we had figured, when we talked about this initially, we had figured that they were going to assimilate somehow. The PGA was going to come around and deal with them. I didn't know it was going to be this soon. It ain't even been a year. It ain't even been a fucking year, and you folded. And you fucking folded. Man, fuck the PGA.
And they had no reason to fold. Ass. Well, they did. They did the money. That's why they folded.
That's the only reason. That's the okay. Because black people do it too. But white people in power will eat their own to get that paper. They will eat their own. And this is some bullshit. I know if you're a golfer, if you're a hierarchy, if you're like a Rory or somebody, you got the money, you can walk away. But some of these guys can't walk away from it. But I would be so pissed off. I'd be like, you block my blessing just to get your own fucking blessing. Fuck you. You can never trust them again. Never trust him.
I'm with you. First of all, the commissioner would have to go. That guy would have to go.
Exactly.
He wouldn't have my vote of confidence.
But you know why he's not going to go? Because the PGA is making money from his little hypocritical ass decision. So he ain't going nowhere.
I'm with you. You know, it's crazy. One day I was home just flipping channels on a Saturday, and I happened to come across the Liv Golf League. It's on UPN or no, the CW. Because UPN doesn't exist. It's on the CW. I didn't even know it was on the CW. And I was like, who's playing? What are they doing? It wasn't getting any national coverage. It was not being talked about on Sports Center, nothing like that. I mean, they basically were losing in the sense of marketing to the public. Nobody was watching it. Nobody is watching it. But I agree with you. It's like when you have a friend and they be like, yo, we mad at so-and-so, don't be talking to them. And then all of a sudden, one day you come in and you see them at the table laughing and eating together. And you be like, whoa, I thought we wasn't talking to homeboy. Oh, no, we straight now. But yeah, you ain't talked to me about it. You got me out here bumping into him, giving him the evil eye and all that stuff. And now y'all boys? You think you should have talked to me first before you decide you're gonna broker some peace? And so yeah, man.
So we don't like him anymore.
So we don't like him anymore.
So now it's just me don't like him.
Right. Exactly. Now I'm in my feelings, but y'all chummy now. Y'all up in here all buddies and whatnot, high fiving, drinking beers and shots.
At the club, line dancing and shit on TikTok, synchronized dancing and shit.
Right. But you had me up in here mad for almost a year. I don't even know homie like that, but you got. That's basically what happened to Tiger and them. And so, yeah, it's horrible. It's hypocritical. It's all those things. And so I saw something on the news today that Congress is looking into it. I don't care what they do. They're not going to do nothing. They ain't do nothing about Trump. And so
fuck Congress too.
Right. So all that it's all crap. And so but it's going to happen. And it just shows that money wins. In the end, money is king. Money is king. Mm-hmm. And so, we just saw it with this. And so the next thought is, people think, okay, well, what's to stop them from buying an NBA franchise? What's to stop them from buying an NFL franchise? What's to stop them from getting into Major League Baseball? And those are the next things that is coming. So be ready, people. I know you're going to lose your little mind especially when they get into baseball. They're really going to lose their mind because that's as American as apple pie. That's America, baseball. And so as soon as they already got soccer, we don't know what's going on in Europe. They're already buying the top football clubs in Europe, and so they've already entered into the mainstream in Europe. Now, this is their part of getting into the mainstream sports culture here in the United States. Start with golf. Before you know it, it's going to be one of the big three that'll be next. And so we'll see what happens. Let's talk a little NFL. Hey, Hopkins, he's out there, people. The Arizona Cardinals released wide receiver Deandre Hopkins. Hopkins' future with the Cardinals have been in question since the end of the 2022 season because of his team high $30.7.5 million cap hit, which ranks top amongst receivers in the NFL and 7th overall. But by releasing Hopkins, the Cardinals saved $8.15 million in cap space for 2023, but they are taking a dead cap hit of $22 million. The Bills, Titans, Ravens, and Patriots are among the teams reportedly interested in Hopkins. And over the past 3 seasons, Hopkins dropped only 3 passes on 315 targets, the lowest drop rate, 1.0% among 62 receivers who have been targeted at least 175 times during that span. So, Calvin, the question is, should the Ravens try to sign Hopkins or focus on other needs?
It's so tough. And we're all excited at this new look Ravens. And it's so tough to have a guy like that just out there. And because his slight demands are he wants to play with a great quarterback. He wants to play with a team that has a great chance of winning the Super Bowl.
We have that.
That's not the Patriots. It could be the Bills.
Could be.
It could be the Chiefs. You didn't mention the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are a contender. I think the Chiefs are a contender.
Yeah, but they had to work something out with their cap and stuff. I think they're a little tight on the cap
to get DeAndre Hopkins. You know they'll work
they'll make it happen. They'll make it happen.
It's so tough. So the Ravens right now are looking at they're looking a little thin at cornerback, and they don't necessarily need another wide receiver. However, Rashad Bateman's health, OBJ's health, and if you lose them two, you're kind of back to where you were. I mean, you got Zay Flowers, but he's a rookie, kind of back to where you were last year. Nelson Aguilar can't hold on to the ball. I think they really want to make a play for DeAndre Hopkins, but they don't want to give him that reported 14-15 million that he's asking for to match with OBJ. I think he's in a situation where Lamar Jackson was. If Odell is getting 14 from the Ravens, I deserve at least 15, 16, and I think that's what he's looking for. And he's right about that. But he comes down off that price. I think the Ravens are a contender now, but if he comes down off that price, I think they're a solid contender. He did meet with the Titans, but again, the Titans are not favored to make any type of playoff run. They don't even have a quarterback. You know, they don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah,
So.
Tannehill. And I agree with you.
And I thought they released Tannehill, didn't they?
No. They still got Tannehill.
Oh, okay.
And they drafted Will Levis.
That's right. They drafted Levis.
And they still have Malik
right,
Willis.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm sure Hopkins wishes that they released him earlier, because I think the Ravens would have signed him before they signed OBJ.
Absolutely.
Well,
they were trying to trade him. Remember,
they were trying to make the trade
yeah.
and what have you. And of course, the Cardinals wanted probably more than what the Ravens wanted to give up. But I'm certain that they probably would have loved to have him, and then that probably would have impacted them drafting Zay Flowers. If they get Odell and DeAndre, that impacts them taking Zay Flowers. I really think they need some help on the defensive line, especially pass rushing. I'm tired of seeing Justin Houston. Justin Houston's good for about 4 games. After those 4 games are up, he expires. He's done. He's like some double mint gum. After about 5 chews, or how about this? He's like some big league gum. You remember the big league gum?
Big league chew. The
big league
shreds.
chew. Yeah, the little shreds.
Like the tobacco.
Mm-hmm. After about 10 chews of that all that sugar and flavor gone, you just got a whole bunch of sticky stuff in your mouth for nothing. Pause. And so I really think that they really need to focus on either corner, or they need to focus on a pass rusher. And Ojabo, he's unproven. He only played really 1 game last year. Of course, Owe, I think this is a make or break year.
This has to be a make or break year.
Yeah, if he doesn't give you double-digit sacks, it's time to move on. I mean, when they drafted Judon was a 5th-round pick, but he produced in year 2 or 3 where he was a double-digit or a high single-digit sacker. Owe, I don't think he's had over 4 or 5 sacks in any of these seasons, the 3 seasons that it's been 2, the 2 seasons that he's been with the Ravens. And so they're untested there. And I really think, I would rather them, but who's out there? And so right now you're only going to get, retreads anyway. And so we'll see, but you never can have too many weapons. That's how I feel. I agree with
That's
you.
True.
I mean, they're already giving Bateman cortisone shots in his foot.
Exactly.
And I don't know, unless you like 60 years old, you're not supposed to be getting cortisone shots after you've had this major foot surgery and everything. And so
and OBJ is coming off not playing for 2 years. Well, a full year rather.
Right.
But
he's coming off the ACL.
Yeah.
So,
you just
I
think it's just the price tag that DeAndre is asking for now. But they can collude on him like they did Lamar Jackson. If ain't nobody gonna pay it,
sure,
then the Ravens will step up and give him something. I'd love to have DeAndre Hopkins. I'm with you. You can't have too many weapons, but I'm also with you. You need something on defense. And no Justin Houston slander. He may only be good for 5 games, but at his age, we need them 5 games. Somebody else needs to step up. We know how old he is. Good for Justin Houston. I'm not mad at him.
Is he active this game?
I'm not mad at him at all.
Is he active today?
This we didn't re-sign 3 fingers, did we? We ain't re-signed 3 fingers.
Let me stop, man. That's not even right. No, we did not sign JPP. 3 fingers. 3 finger Monty.
JP3.
JP. Anyway. Let's talk some baseball, man. Let's talk your Orioles. After coming off a 6-game road trip against the Yankees and the Blue Jays, both teams picked to make the playoffs with a 5-1 record. The Orioles return home for over a 6-game homestand versus the Rangers and Guardians, and they lost one of their best players in those series, center fielder Cedric Mullins, to a groin injury, and he's out for the next several weeks. Also, they just put Ryan strikeout Mountcastle. I don't think there's a pitch that he won't swing at. At one time, he got a strike. He was in the clubhouse and he swung at a ball that he saw on the screen, and they called a strike on him. And so he's on the injured reserve. And so then they went 500 on the road versus Brewers, but they've won the 6 of the last 7. They won today to take 2 or 3 from the Blue Jays, and they're still in second place. They're about 4 games behind the Rays. And so, who's been their most impactful player for you, Calvin, over the last month?
Well, over the last month. So it was Cedric Mullins, but now Gunnar is starting to get his thing off. Gunnar is getting his thing off. But so when we talked about you need a new start, what's the boy that's playing center field now that came in for Cedric Mullins? Aaron Hicks, that they signed from the Yankees. The Yankees released him. He was an impactful Oriole within 2 days. He is getting his thing off. Gunnar has been the most impactful right now, but Aaron Hicks has been a very quietly refreshing addition and backup to Cedric Mullins. So when Cedric Mullins comes back, play both of them. You got to keep Hicks in the lineup. Got to keep him in the lineup.
I'm with you. Hicks has been a major impact. I think, they were a little worried about what was going to happen in center field because Cedric had been playing very well this year. He had given them some power numbers and some great defense in center field. And so that was a major loss. But they've managed to stay up in there, and Hicks has played very well. I agree with you about Gunnar, though. I think he's hitting and it's coming on at the right time. I mean, just think. Maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe early in May, we were really thinking maybe they need to send him down to the farm. I mean, he was struggling that much.
I was thinking that.
He might need to go down to Norfolk and work out his swing or whatever. And he's caught fire. He's played very well for them. Hayes has been up there all season. He's in the top 10 in batting in the American League, doing very well for them. And so, I think they've just put it together, and some of the replacements that they've had at first place have given them better on base percentage than Mountcastle. I like Mountcastle, but Mountcastle is feast or famine. Either it's a home run or it's a strikeout. He's kind of like the guy they had several years ago.
The one that's still paying.
Not Chris Davis. They had another guy that was playing first base before Chris Davis, and I think he went to Colorado too. He was just, who I'm talking about, but he was just either he was a strikeout or he was a home run. I'll look him up, but nonetheless,
not Trumbo, because Trumbo was in the outfield.
Not Trumbo. Oh my God, I can't remember this guy's name. But he wound up playing. He was a third baseman, but wound up playing a lot of first base for them right before Davis. And so, I like Mike Castle, but he's feast or famine, and I think that they've just put enough together to keep them up in the mix. But the American League East is just so strong. I mean, despite the fact that they're winning games, they still have not gained any games on Tampa.
Well, actually, they have. Just remember how strong Tampa Bay started off. And to be 4 games back, that's a hell of a lot of ground to make up. Mm-hmm. And to have New York and Boston in your tailwind right now, that's a
glass half full.
Very well. And it's
glass half full instead of half empty.
Exciting. It's exciting. Sometimes in the power rankings, I know about a month or so ago, the Orioles were number 2 in the power ranking behind the Atlanta Braves because they had just taken 2 or 3 from the Rays. I was like, whoa, and lost 2 or 3 from the Braves. Remember, they almost got swept by the Braves. They did pull one of them out, then came right home the next day to play the Rays, and they took 2 out of 3 from them. So
I think if there's anything that's wrong with the Orioles, it's the pitching. We said this at the beginning of the season. We said that this team was going to rake. This team was going to hit. That's not going to be a problem for them. They're going to score runs. They're going to hit the ball. But this pitching, it's gotten kind of sketchy. And if they're thinking of going further, they're thinking the playoff run, they've got to figure out this pitching. That's got to be one of their moves for the trade deadline in another month or so, because they just, to me, they don't have dependable starting. Who's their number one? I don't know. I don't think they have a number one. And outside of your closers at the end of the game that are doing you great, it's those middle relievers are not necessarily solid as well. They had a nice little run for a minute, but they've in the last several games they've tended to kind of give up a lot of runs in the middle of the game. So, what's your thought about the pitching?
The pitching started off so strong. The pitching was in the
Yeah,
top rankings, which gave them that boost. Now it's so I can't really blame the middle relievers because what's happening is the starters aren't taking them deep in the game. So you're using your middle relievers much earlier than you'd like to, and you're using a lot of them much more than you'd like to. So there's some games where you can't use them and guys are gassed. So teams are starting to catch up to them. But they're still holding on. They're bending, but they're not breaking. Just like today, they won the game, what, 4-2?
yeah, 42.
You know what I mean? Yesterday they still had a chance to win. They lost 3-1. It was a gem of a game, a pitching game. You know what I mean? They just didn't score. So they're bending, but they're not breaking. I mean, they're still there, but yeah, if they're gonna make moves at the deadline to if they're thinking about it, it's gonna have to be pitching moves. It's gonna have to be pitching moves. And I'm
Definitely.
not even sold on the number one closer right now. I'm not even sold on
Yeah,
Felix right
Batista,
now.
he puts a lot of
Yeah,
people on base, and
I'm not
that
sold on him. He's done well, but yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it
not
was
sold.
interesting because Deadspin came out with an article about the Orioles, like right before they hit the little skid when they came back home after that 5-1 road trip, and they struggled with against the Rangers and the Guardians, and I guess everything they said was true. That the hitting it could be up and down, the pitching mostly down, but fair to middling, and yeah, so that's a major concern. And so we'll see what happens. I don't know if they have arms down on the farm that could help them, but I know they definitely might need to move an asset to get a very good starter. They need someone who can give them a lot of innings.
They do
Um, yeah, and they don't
eat up some
necessarily have
innings
that
in
right
there.
now. Yeah, definitely. And so we've come to the part of the show that everyone loves. Come on, yo. And so we got some come on yos for you. Calvin, you can go first.
Yeah, man. So let me go back to the PGA. So I alluded to it before, where um, the the commissioner says, if any one of them hadn't, they're not doing. They didn't have anything to do with 9/11. If any of them did, myself and all this and that. I find it real curious and funny. And first, let me say this because, like you said, things will be taken out of context. First, let me say this 9/11 was a tragedy for everyone, and
Definitely.
there's no diminishing that. What I find real funny is that when it's convenient, a certain group of people will look back on things and use that as a reason that we can't move forward, or we it's so hard to move forward. But when we look back on certain things, it's always, oh, that was a long time ago, get over that, get over it. 9/11 was, in the grand scheme of things, 9/11 was some years ago. My son
Was
was just born, so 9/11 is over
wow.
20 years old, happened over 20 years ago. But now people are mad and upset at the PGA because these guys had something to do with 9/11. How could you do that? Well, you're not over that, because when we talk about 400 years of oppression, it is, oh, get over that. You've moved on now. You've had opportunities now. Well, didn't 9/11 victim family get reparations and recognition, and aren't they still held up high and remember? So which one is it? Like, do we move on and never forget, or do we just not move on? Because I just want the same treatment for my people that you love to extend to your own people. I just want that same treatment because we don't get it. You let us bring up slavery. There was I saw a video today where a girl said, yeah, so slavery, although it was bad, it wasn't as bad as they make it out to be. The dude was like, so tell me what wasn't as bad. Like what are they exaggerating? That those were her words. It's been some things are exaggerated. What's been exaggerated? She couldn't even say it. She was I well, I don't want to get into this because you're lying. You're
Right.
lying. A tragedy is a tragedy, and they should all be remembered. And if it hurts you and it hurts your family and it hurts the family's growth, which it has done for Black people for centuries now, then there's a problem. Something needs to be done about it. Stop picking and choosing which tragedies we should remember. Stop picking and choosing what we should get over. It's just not right and it's not fair. So to all of you, and I'll try not to be too racial, but to all of you golf colored people, come on, yeah. Come on, dude. Come on,
Yeah. Excellent. Come on, yo. I mean, you're right, Calvin. You're right. I mean, we're selective. We're
very
selective in this
selective.
country. Very selective. All right, now, come on, yo. Baltimore Orioles City Connect jersey haters. On May 26th, the Baltimore Orioles unveiled their City Connect uniform, and designed in collaboration with Nike. The Connect jersey showcased the vibrant and distinct culture of the team in their city. The Orioles uniform was inspired by Baltimore and its neighborhoods. The cap features an italic B commonly used on the Orioles away jersey. And for the jersey itself, it featured the word Baltimore in capital letters with white lettering. And on the collar and on the piping, it features colors and shapes of neighborhoods of Baltimore. The uniform is a tribute special, which is its neighborhoods. If you from Baltimore, you would know that we're fierce defenders of our neighborhoods and our sections of the cities where we grew up. Now, the uniforms were they were going to be worn on Fridays for home games specifically, and the Orioles on the 26th they wore these City Connect uniforms. As a matter of fact, they won the first two games of the home series versus the Texas Rangers, and unfortunately, they lost both games. And Calvin, old white men lost their shat. They just could not get together. Throw these uniforms out. Get rid of them. This is a marketing ploy, and that's what they get for trying to make money. This is a nonsense. These uniforms, that's what they get. Look, people, we know this is a marketing scheme. They're selling uniforms. Yes, we know. Stevie Wonder could see that forms that they're selling paraphernalia. That's what it's for. It's to connect you. It's to go out to get a person who's not a longtime baseball fan, someone that might like the fashion of the team or might find a way to connect the team in another way. We can't stay in the 1960s. We can't stay in the 1950s. We can't stay back in the day where you got your popcorn and Cracker Jack and your peanuts in the shell and you sat up in section 34 and you brought your own beer in and you watched the games and you cracked peanuts. And oh boy, what a time we had back in Memorial Stadium, which was a dump, by the way, a terrible place to watch a game. Oh my God, this is the greatest. And we need to look, people. Times are changing. That's why baseball realizes in order to stay alive, we need to tap into new and different audiences. That's why people love this pitch clock and all the things. That's why this game is moving faster. People are getting connected back to the game now because of this, because it's not taking 5 hours to play a game. So if you don't like the uniform, don't buy it, but don't hate on us that love it. It's okay. Go ahead and stick with your old Oriole on the hat. Even get the one where it looks like the actual bird instead of the 1970s bird version. Okay. If you want to stay in the past, go ahead. Get yourself a Brooks Robinson jersey or a Frank Robinson jersey. Great. Go do that. But don't hate on us if we want to get that sweet looking City Connect jersey and we want to get that sweet, because I'm getting that hat. Father's Day coming up. I'm getting that hat. And they asked me, I'm getting that hat. And so leave us alone, old time baseball person. Leave us alone. Let us connect with this City Connect. It's good. It's nice. It has a nice marketing and a story behind it. And it's fantastic. It's something new. It's something fresh. And if you want to stay in the past, still hugging to wooden benches and up in Memorial Stadium, go ahead and do that. But we're going to go ahead with the new stuff. So come on, yo. Stop hating on the new stuff. I think the City Connect thing, fantastic. One of the best things they've done over the last couple seasons.
Mark Belanger and Len Sakata ain't walking out the dugout.
Come on now. Kiko Garcia is not coming to save you.
Tippy Martinez is not coming in the ninth inning to save the game.
Benny Ayala and Gary Renicky are not coming back. Or John Lowenstein. None of those people. We know old Baltimore. We're Orioles fans. We know. But we've moved on. We're adapting to new, y'all. It's cool.
Exactly. Rich Dower's days are over. His days are over. And by the way, so where I work at, the guy that did the commercial with Nike, Kanwandi Fidel, he's actually a poet and an artist in Baltimore. So he's done a lot with Visit Baltimore. Throughout the pandemic, we've had him on our magazines. We've had him in our offices. So he's done a lot. I actually have some posters and some books that he's given us. So yeah, and you know, support. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Baltimore Connect. Like Garland said, they're connected neighborhoods. Support your city. You know, we know a lot of you don't come from Baltimore. We know a lot of you only come downtown to see the game and then talk shit about our city on your way down and on your way back.
I do come down, but I don't talk nothing about the city.
We know, but this is something good for the city.
It is.
And for people that hate it. Now, I will readily admit, when they went 0-2, I said I love the jerseys, but they can never wear these in the game again. But they did win last Friday. They did win the home game last Friday. So they finally got to win. But I never wanted them to wear it in the game, but I didn't want to get rid of them because they fresh. They fresh.
It's fresh. And we can't, uniforms don't win. Players do. So
no uniform. No uniforms win game.
Yeah, no, really?
Uniforms win game. I ain't even going front. You know, if you're an old school baseball player, you superstitious as a mother.
But I understand. But look, come on, these people. That's what they get. That's a money grab. Yes, a money grab. Idiot.
I hate it. I hate it. Tell us why you really hate it. You don't really hate it because some people are like, oh, it looks plain. It looks. You don't really hate it. You hate it because those colors are on there, and you thought those colors stood for some letters like LGBT. That's why you really hate it. Tell the truth. Let it come out.
They saw the rainbow on there.
Yeah, let it come out. Let it come out. We know why you really hate it, because you're not as accepting of people. We know why you really hate it. You don't hate it because it's so plain and it just doesn't fit the city. No, it fits the city, but you thought it only fit a certain section of the city.
Definitely, it fit the city because the uniform is black and it's just some white lettering.
Exactly. We know why you hate it. Oh, you know what? You're right. It's black with the white lettering and there's no red line in it. We know why you hate it. You don't see no red line, do you? And guess what? We're about to get a red line, but not that red line that you think about.
Right.
But we're about to get a red line.
Oh, hopefully I get to ride it one day.
What do they call the city? What is it? Is it an L?
It's black. It's the black butterfly and the white L.
Yeah, the black butterfly.
They saw that white L on the uniform. I guess it wasn't big enough.
Yeah, we know why you really hate it. We know it. Anyway, hey man, this was a great show. I'm glad we made it back.
Yes, we're back, people.
We're definitely back. We will be back on the weekends. Now, we are recording this Thursday evening. I haven't done this in a while, so it may take me a long time to edit it. So you might get this in August sometime, but we are back. I'm going to do my best to have this released tomorrow.
It's going to be in the vault, people.
I'll do my best to have this done tomorrow. But yeah, man, we got to plan some things for the summer. Oh, happy Father's Day to
Happy
all the
Father's Day.
fathers, to Garland and myself, to all the
Yes.
daddies out there. It's
All
coming
the
up this
dads.
Sunday. So make sure you relax, let the kids do everything.
There you
My
go.
wife asked me, "What are your kids doing for you for Father's Day?" I don't know. I'm not playing. I'm the daddy. I'm the pappy. They got a plan for me. Why don't you call them? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Exactly.
If it was Mother's Day,
Exactly.
this shit would have been playing 3 weeks ago.
Oh, a month ago. You need to get them reservations early.
Exactly.
Everybody.
I seen a little TikTok and it was so true. It was like Mother's Day, they get all these fancy dinners and jewelry on sale. Father's Day cargo shorts be on sale for $9.99 for Father's Day.
I ain't mad at cargo shorts though.
I was about to say I got enough pairs of cargo shorts though.
They practical.
One of them Baltimore City Connect jerseys need to be on sale, or one of the hats. I'll admit, I'm hood and I'm ghetto. And when the first run came out, I let that ride. I'm waiting for the bootleggers to get their hands up.
Patapsco. Flea market.
It's the difference between a $35 hat and a $15 hat.
But the B gonna be backwards now.
I went on to Fanatics to buy me a jersey, and it said $150. I was like, you know what? Let me wait until I just read across somebody on Facebook be like selling them jerseys $25.
You get it at Patapsco, but Baltimore going to be spelt wrong.
Yeah, but you're right though. You're right.
They selling that mug.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
So, but I'm gonna get me one. Because I think it's fresh.
And depending on who's selling them, it might be somebody from the west side. It just be the west side neighborhoods on there. Ain't gonna be no east side neighborhoods on there.
It's gonna be bruh man gonna be selling them. Hey man, this was good. It's late. I gotta work tomorrow.
Yes, we do. We do have to work tomorrow. And happy Juneteenth too. It's just
happy Juneteenth. Yeah, man. Everything is going on. For those of you that forgot Juneteenth was coming or didn't know, that's exactly why we celebrate, because of you. Yeah, you did not know, and that's the whole point of Juneteenth. They didn't know. They was still out there slaving it up until they homeboy was like, "Yo, I know you're not still a slave, my nigga."
Yo, they ain't tell y'all was off.
Bro, we clocked out like 5 years ago.
Y'all still working?
Yo, what you doing tonight? Oh, well, after I pick this cotton. Pick cotton?
You still picking cotton?
How much you get paid? You don't. Bro, you ain't got to live like that no more. Right. No one will do that no more. Man. Anyway, man,
we're gonna get shut down.
We just got back and we're gonna get sanctioned and fined and everything. You know what? Let me play this outro. Hey, All Things Black presents Fanboys. I'm Calvin. That's my guy, Garland. And we will talk to you all next time.
You have been listening to Fanboys and All Things Black with Garland and Calvin Production. Thank you for listening. And make sure to rate and review this episode on all of your podcast platforms.
Yeah, you're a wild boy.
Taking it to the street. Oh man, did he leave? Calvin, come back. Calvin.
Hello?
You still here? I'm still here, man. It's still recording.
Oh no, I shut it down.
Okay, it's still uploading on my side. What should I do?
Maybe I
No.
left the studio.
Yeah, you just left the studio.
Oh man, that's some bullshit because I'm gonna have to all participants. Oh shit, the do say it's still recording. You don't see where it say stop recording?
Let me see. I see leave. Let's see. Let's see. Look for a person's portrait since it's just me.
Oh wait a minute. I think I'm gonna go back to the studio.
Yeah, come on back.
And I'm
All right, there you go.